education, we're not just competing on a national level, we're competing on a global scale, on a global playing field. And so it's imperative for us that we have access to absolutely A-grade global talent.
We're a major hire in the IT market here in Australia. Just last year we hired more than 200 people here in Australia, and finding the right people in the right places is difficult.
Companies that are building right now with the skills that we need them to have are all struggling with the same problems the world over. Lack of access to talent, lack of access to funding, and more importantly, lack of access to customers. Those are the three things. If we can fix those three things, every startup globally will just go, thank you.
We really need the startup industry to be working side by side with universities and other organisations in the ecosystem to make sure that talent's really coming through. I think in the immediate term we can import some of that talent from overseas, but in the medium and long term there's no way we can do it by just importing talent. We've got to grow that talent here, and universities are obviously a critical pathway for doing that.
We really have to work together as an ecosystem, and that means industry, that means education, and that means our students and our startups. And when we understand that it's not a single problem that one partner owns, it's something that sits across all that we do, we're making the right steps. So how do we connect our students to opportunities where they learn about entrepreneurship? Where do we bring in our industry partners so that they can see what they can learn from our students and how we can help them?
We're working with the tertiary sector and with Attila and his team and many other universities across the country. We're working with the vocational sector. We're working with our clients. We're working with government to ensure that as we think about the transition in our workforce and as we look at the ways in which we can contribute to helping to develop pathways to build new skills.
And there are no typical career paths anymore. So the more we can understand about how a person is going from one job to the next, the more we can learn and help other people make that same transition.
We're going to need more through life training. We're going to need training. People who have families, people who have homes, who have commitments, are going to need training that is flexible. And the universities are at the crux of this. A lot of this training that people are going to require is university level training. And so how the universities change their training dynamic, have a training that is more flexible for people's life stages, that is available in bite-sized chunks that people can digest remotely, and to have a shared understanding of the future of accreditation that employers can then buy into is going to be very, very important.
So we're doing quite a lot of work with UTS and other organisations within the startup ecosystem to understand what those talent gaps actually are, and this report's a really good example of that, and also to try and encourage the development of entrepreneurship programs and programs focused on getting students into startups and actually getting them that hands-on experience with the kinds of products and the kinds of business environments that startups are building.
Even up through the university level, we try to work with universities, particularly those outside the group of 8, where they're trying to build their profile and trying to build their new technology programs, to help them become competitive in their computer science education. And so that's actually resulted in some interesting changes, in that we're recruiting more now outside of our traditional cohort of universities, because the quality of computer science education across Australia is growing.
At UTS, we work on a couple of things that are really important, obviously, in our industry, which is education, research, and working with industry. So what we do is we develop a whole suite we have now of fantastic curriculum that's really looking at how do you take disciplinary strength and apply it to real-world problems through different lenses of innovation, creativity, tech, emerging tech. What we're doing is to see how can we translate this knowledge that we have in the university to value and impact in the world.